Welcome back to the Experience Points Podcast. I'm one of the hosts, and Josh and I really appreciate you giving some time to the podcast. Now it's a little different. We've been recording on audio only, and this will be our first video recorded podcast. But we're trying new things. We're learning more things about it. Give us some time. Today's episode, we brought out not only a great friend of ours, but a local hip-hop artist and producer named Wiz Kelly. Wiz, while mainly sticking to hip-hop, can produce any kind of music that you can think of. His pen game is immaculate, and he even makes music with his father. Be ready to listen in as we discuss his background in music, some of his life experiences, and our interactions with each other throughout our lives. So, thank you for clicking again, and get ready to enjoy this episode. Yeah, time to introduce our guests. We have a humble friend, amazing musician, next big rapper and producer. Shout out to our boy, Wiz Kelly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go with y'all.
Yeah,
man.
thank you for coming on and asking for us to. Yeah, thank you for just coming on. And,
I appreciate it, bro. Thank y'all for putting me on this one.
Yeah, so introduce yourself to the people. Say what's up.
Who should I look at?
I mean, you can look at that one or the other one.
Is that one seen you?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all seeing you.
Yeah, they all do.
They all
see
see
you.
you?
This one is the one where it's just like on your face.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
I was gonna look at that one.
Yeah.
But shit, fuck it. That's Wiz K, man. Wizard Kelly, man. Wiz Kelly. Don't call me Wizard Kelly. I hate when niggas do that.
Don't.
Wiz Kelly. I mean, you can find me on IG at Wiz__Kelly__. I would say Twitter, but I don't use that shit. Would say Snap, but I don't use that shit anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, just find me on IG, find me on YouTube, Wiz Kelly. You can find me Wiz Kelly everywhere, except for IG. You got some underscores in that motherfucker.
Right. And then so when we look up Wiz Kelly, what we're gonna find is a lot of music, right?
We're gonna find a good amount of music. I won't say a lot yet, you know what I'm saying, but it's a good amount.
I mean, cause where we at now? How many albums have you put out?
What are the projects looking like now?
That I put out.
Yeah.
Shit. The first one was Volume 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then I put out the joint with my dad,
Right.
Khalid Salon. And then I put out Nowhere.
Okay.
Then I put out Bittersweet. And then we just put out Yaf. Me and my dad just put out Yaf and Kodo.
Oh yeah. And I mean, honestly, I went back and I listened to Yafa Kodo, and I listened to Nowhere. I really like Nowhere.
A lot of people are like,
Yeah,
Nowhere. It's
yeah.
very practical,
Yeah.
you know. I'm finally at the point where I fucking hate every song, but
Right.
people are gonna appreciate that shit more than I do, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, but I feel like that's part of, I don't know, like, I mean, and when you edit, Reek, when you make music, I think that's part of what I was thinking about, at least when I edit or whatever. It's like, I feel like a lot of, like, creatives have that, where it's like you make music, you make whatever it is that you make, and then you go back, and it's like, you know, whether it's like, you know, sometimes it's like a week later, sometimes it's like a year later, but you get a lot better, and you go back.
Yeah.
Man, like,
Yeah.
I'm a lot better than this.
That's what I'm
It's kinda
saying,
Like,
like-
you have, like, that kind of, like, cringe moment, it's like, ugh, yeah.
Cringing like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like you just grow. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, sometimes you love something and then you hate it. You know, tomorrow.
Yeah, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Deadass.
And like, yeah, and that's what I've been noticing with even our own stuff. Like, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't be listening to these back that often. Like, you know what I'm saying? I listen to them just to make sure I'm not cussing or, you know, well, I mean, I would be cussing, but I'm not saying nothing crazy or going stupid or not. Or if I
Just fucking up.
just fucking up. But you know, it's one of those things that I feel like as people, you know, you grow. So because you're not saying the same stuff every day. You know what I'm saying? You going back, you probably everybody's taking that time where they've gone back and looked through photos and stuff and been like, damn.
The fuck did I have?
What was I thinking
What kind
there?
of jeans I have?
Right. What kind of jeans? What kind of cut was I rocking?
Right.
Man, back in 8th grade, I was wearing Nike slides with some
Hey, we was
some Nike
dumb
socks
shit.
and some Nike shorts
We was
and
wearing-
the Nike Elite shirt
Bro,
and probably a snap.
niggas was-
Anyways, that was a whole era.
Right.
And so I mean, kind of like bringing it around, like I mean, like we're just kind of like just joking around, but So, Wiz Kelly, right? How does Tariq become Wiz Kelly? Where does the name Wiz Kelly come from?
Honestly, bro. But honestly, when it comes to names, bro, I don't really put that much thought into them shits. It's usually like, even if a lot of people like I send beats to, like my beats, name of my beats be like weird as fuck. It'd be crazy. It'd be the first thing that come to my head. Like if I make a beat and it'd be like, I'll just look around and be like, oh shit, armchair chilling. That's the name of the beat. So like, Wiz Kelly. Like I remember like the exact moment when I came up with it. Like it wasn't no thought. Like a lot of niggas names be man. Back in '99. This, that, and the third. I was playing the drums in there, and then I was just like, yeah. I remember I was watching the Proud Family, and I was like, I really fuck with Wizard Kelly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna drop the and just be Wiz Kelly.
Yeah.
And it was just that, cause I can hoop.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Wiz Kelly don't even have nothing to do about music.
At all.
Cause I can hoop.
That's fair.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's literally it. But
Wait. So then we talking
hold
about
on,
connection
hold
to
on.
like 2K?
Yeah, the wizard, the Jinn.
Now that was a coincidence. That's just crazy.
Okay.
That's really crazy how much that was a coincidence. Cause I really was the wizard in 2K. That shit was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's so
it was
crazy.
a complete coincidence. Like it was literally just off the Proud Family character.
Okay.
Literally just think about him one day, and he was just my favorite guy in there.
Right.
And I was just like, shit. I was still hooping at the time too.
Yeah.
I was just like, man, I could hoop. And for whatever reason, just Wiz Kelly, it just came and stuck.
Right. And then I want to talk to you more about you with your name, but you talked about it and you hoop, and that's kind of how we all met each other, was through hooping,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
From days that hooping over here at Wills Park, but with that, like how do we go from Tariq the Hooper, which I knew, right, hooping in high school, hooping in middle school, right, had a tight handle, right, to now somebody who's literally making full albums, right? What's that transition? Like, how do we go from Tariq the Hooper to now Tariq the artist?
Honestly, the Tariq the artist really was Tariq the producer, but before I was an artist, but I was producing since I was like 7, bro. Like, really, I made my first song when I was like 5 years old. And like, dead ass. I remember I had, what I said to that motherfucker. My dad wrote the song. I said like, I'm 5.5, do the math. Yeah. I already got what you can't have, or some shit like that. I was, like my dad being a musician, playing 7 different instruments, engineering, producing, being a rapper. And just like the overall musical culture, like between my mom and my dad, just, my mom listening to a bunch of soft rock to putting me on Tribe Called Quest at an early age, and my dad put me on like KRS-One and Nas being my very first favorite rapper at like 4 years old. I'm walking up to my dad like, I'm hearing what he says, and I'm like, hey, what does this mean? I don't even know what he meant. And then he telling me, at an early age of 4 and 5, it's like the seeds were just already planted. Basketball just was, the kind of benefactor at the time, I ain't finna be in school cooking up. It just wasn't really an idea, to genuinely that be the forefront. I thought it was just something that I could do, and I was gonna probably end up hooping overseas somewhere. That was probably what I was thinking of doing. But my senior year of high school, I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got hold for the last time from basketball coaches and politics. My dad was going through cancer. He was still going through chemo. I was fucked up. I was like, fuck basketball, bro. I was done with that shit. Okay. So I took a gap year, and instead of going to college, I spent a year in Memphis, Tennessee. And,
remember that.
You remember that? Mentoring those, in the low income schools, and mentoring, the group of children, really 4th graders. I was working with 4th graders. But niggas was bad as hell. Bad shit. I just needed that year to really figure out my purpose. Yeah. Coming with Wiz Kelly and having my dad and my mom behind me, they fully supported it because they knew how talented I was throughout the years. Yeah. Right. And knew it was honestly really where I was supposed to be at. My niche. And coming back after that year, went to music school.
Yeah, I remember
I went to
that.
music school.
Back
What was
here.
it? The Art Institute of Atlanta? Is that what
It
it
was
was?
Atlanta Institute of Music and Media.
That's what it was. Okay.
AIM. And same place for Lil Uzi Engineering.
Yeah.
Or it went.
Over here.
And I was already taking it serious to that point. Like even when I was in Memphis, that's when I started taking it serious. Like a year or two before that, even when I became Wiz Kelly, that's when I started taking it serious.
Right. Yeah.
But I didn't start rapping for real, writing my own raps until I hit Memphis. I was like 18.
Right, yeah.
I wrote my first song.
Right, so that was like it almost seems like that was almost like a conscious choice. Like it wasn't, because I know like for like some people it's like, oh, you know, I just made music right on the side and like it just ends up taking over your time. But it sounds like when you took that gap, you had time to like think about, all right, like what do I want to do?
Yeah, real tea. Because I seen the difference in like the results of like my work, like playing basketball, like you know what I'm saying, like I'm going to my trainer, put all this work in, you know what I'm saying.
Right, yeah.
And
Being
you just
there.
wasn't,
And
you
it's
just
like,
wasn't seeing nothing.
You know what I'm
for real.
saying?
Yeah.
And I'm seeing the results of my individual play, but I'm not seeing the results of the coaches. Like, okay, we about to
Folks seeing
we about to
you,
fuck with this
and
nigga
yeah,
'cause
we
he
about
can
to
hoop.
fuck with
Yeah.
him because
Yeah,
he
you
can
know what I'm
definitely
saying?
move, right?
And coming to music, seeing like the type of attraction that I get, you know,
Right.
like you'll hear I'll go somewhere, this dude playing beats, and everybody be fuck with him, won't nobody even know who the fuck I am. I just start playing shit, and everybody just come around me playing shit. I'm like, who the fuck are y'all niggas? Like,
Yeah.
but you know, it's like I see that attraction more. From,
Right. Almost like how the world rewards you in a way. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, like type of a thing where it's like, you know, like some people it's just like they, you know, different things like some people like might be like really like passionate about, I don't know, soccer, right?
Yeah.
And you can have a whole bunch of passion about it, but it's like, you know, if you're really, really good at, you know, singing, or if you're really, really good at rapping, like like, you know, people be like, by the way, like, why weren't you doing this?
Yeah, why aren't you
know?
doing this?
Yeah, like type of thing.
And my parents were honestly, it was crazy. It's crazy, right? Because they were always planting the seeds, both of them, and we never thought about it. Like, I remember it was this elementary school. I think it was third grade. I think I was like 7 years old. It was an after school program, and they would bring like a somewhat accomplished producer to the school, and they basically would kind of teach you production. And we all had this little app on.
You
app
told
on the
me
computer.
about this before, yeah.
And like, bro, like this guy, his name was I can't remember his full name, but it was Mahogany something. And I remember he produced a couple of tracks for Jay-Z and like one of them for Ghostface, and probably built up probably a bunch of other credits. I don't really know where he is now. But shout out Mahogany, man. And like, you know, it was a program called Super Duper Music Looper.
Okay.
And you was just like
They-
shit, funny as hell.
They kill me every time I hear it.
And it was like you was just fucking with loops, bro. Like, you know, like they would just you would have to go into this little bank and like it would be like, okay, electric piano number 40, and then like you would just like have the mouse and do the little drag it, and then like a waveform will pop up, and it would be like a loop. And you know what I'm saying? Like you just fuck with a bunch of loops and put them together, and make a beat out of it. And I remember it was always just funny because it was honest. That was how my dad and Mahogany actually built a relationship, because I was so nice. Like at 7 years old, and like we have a day where like got to make a fucking reggae beat, and like, you know, he's going down the line, hearing what everybody got going, and he's like, okay, this nice, this nice, Rachel, this nice, Daquan, you know what I'm saying? And then like he come to mind, this nigga dead, face scrunched in the motherfucker, like, ooh, what the fuck? And that shit used to like throw him off because the shit was actually like hard, and like I remember at the end of that program, everybody got a certificate. And it was, you know, one girl got like the best rock beat, one dude got like the best rap beat, one dude got the best reggae beat. I got a whole fucking plaque, bro. Like that shit was crazy as fuck. Like these niggas made a whole plaque for me and shit.
What?
That shit was funny as hell. We still got that shit somewhere in the crib. That shit was funny as hell, man. Like I was just like, damn. And like and honestly, like that was one of those moments. If I was to take it serious at that point, that would have been that turning point. You know what I'm saying? Because like that was when we kind of knew I had a.
You had
Right,
that.
I had something.
You had something. Yeah. So the potential was there when you figured it out.
And even like when I go back to the basketball thing, like when it comes to being rewarded for my hard work, and actual, you know, hard work and talent, that was, you know what I'm saying, I'm 7 years old getting rewarded for my
Yeah,
hard work and talent. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
And then we never even thought about it.
Yeah.
Right.
It's almost like, yeah, that is
Never
funny
thought
how
about
it's funny how life works like that. It's almost like the barrier was up for you with basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it wasn't fucking
like
So then, like, for you, like, where does, like, you know, for, like, you know, you hear beat, right? And it's like, you know, you go and, like, I've seen, you know, clips on YouTube, whatever. It's like you hear beat and you see artists, all right, like, I'm going to just start just kind of like, you know, I've heard Kanye, where you hear beat and you hear like, kind of like mumble like a melody and stuff like that. Like, where does that come from for you? Is it just, like, on the spot, or is it, like, you know, just, like, you know, in post? Like, how do you go from, you know, hearing a beat and then getting a melody out of it and stuff like that, or just even like to go even further back to make a beat, right? Like where does that come from?
where is the inspiration?
It depends, bro. It depends. It literally varies with depending on what the shit is. Like sometimes I'll be on YouTube and you know, just scrolling and I'll see you know. One person posts something that I want to sample or something. They might post a song and I'll check it out and I'm like, well, that shit's hard. I'm gonna go chop that shit up right now.
Yeah.
And you know, depending on how that sounds, I might just rock out with the sample by itself. Might just repitch it and go rap on that, or I might fucking chop it up and put some drums around it.
Yeah.
It's just all depending on the circumstance, honestly. But like honestly, where it comes from, everything, bro. Like dead ass, everything. Like let's just say I'm making a beat for my homie Jigs. When I make a beat for him, like I'm thinking about like where the fuck he lives at.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I kind of make that beat. I make that beat for that same exact feeling, like where he lives at or something.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I sent it to him, and it's like it sounds like him.
You're
Right.
right.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? Or
Like making it with him in mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it'd be shit like, or just like the type of shoes that nigga wear or something. Like,
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I have a weird way of seeing things. Like I know a couple folks that see music in color, and I see it in I see music in color all the time. That's how I even.
I don't even know
organize my
what does
songs.
that mean.
So, like-
yeah, I've heard that before.
And what you're about to say, I think you're about to say too, like it's almost like I was talking to somebody else about it, where it's like, you know, and it's for I think him it was the opposite of like you, where like I think he sees like you know music more so as math, where it's like you know the ones and
I
twos,
heard that.
Oh, okay, I know
pieces
what
go
you're talking
together
about.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, binary code almost.
But then
Yeah.
like he was talking about it too, where he was like other people see music as a feeling,
Yeah.
right? Where it's like you know like if we made a song right now, and we want to give it like what would a song sound like, you know, to give it the feeling of the last day of school in high school.
Last day of school.
Yeah, like you know, like that feeling of like you know the bell gets out, summer just started.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine if like you made a song about that. Like people like you know it's real, so people can see
Mm-hmm.
or like make a song out of like a feeling,
Mhm.
right? Or you know the same way you know somebody might make a song about getting your heart broken, right?
Yeah.
And like that's a feeling,
Yeah.
right? Other people kind of like be okay, I'm gonna you know kind of like put it together more like you know ones and twos, but for, it sounds like for you that it's more so like you know based off like colors and feelings.
Yeah,
almost
exactly.
Like, yeah.
Exactly. When I have like a record or something, like I never go into no. Most of the time, I don't really go into no song or anything like, okay, I'm gonna talk about this, or
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna make a beat for this feeling so I can have this type of shit. It's like I usually give the record whatever the fuck I feel at the time, and pretty much just give it everything I got at that time. Like I remember when my homeboy Owen, he explained it like perfectly. He was just saying like, when I get on a song, like if I'm singing or rapping, like I would literally throw like pretty much my whole soul at that motherfucker.
Right, yeah, yeah.
For whatever purpose, you know, it is. Like if I'm getting next to my boy Vega and I gotta rap my ass off because he's about to rap his ass off,
Yeah.
or you know, if I just hear a song that's sad, melancholy as hell, then you know I might dig into somewhere, or you know, I actually might be sad at the time, where I like you know write something sad to that beat or something,
Yeah.
or you know, or like shit that last day of school shit. If I'm thinking of the last day of school, I would probably hear a beat that would make me think of a moment like that.
Yeah.
And I would hear something that would make me think of that moment, and I'd be like, oh, this made me think of the last day of school or something. And I would just kind of like, I don't know, whatever the track needs. I
Yeah.
would just, you know, sing on that bit, rap on it. Probably not about the last day of school, but it would be
Right.
something that is kind of, it goes with the beat.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. You kind of just, and you said you kind of putting your soul into it, where it's like you just kind of like, I don't know, like let go. Like,
Yeah,
it's
let
kinda
it go,
just- just-
Dead ass. That's all I do.
So you get real. You would say that you get like real personal, and you're like a real authentic kind of writer.
Yeah. I want to say I still feel like it's still layers of vulnerability that I haven't touched. Like it's people like it's like a Kendrick, very fucking vulnerable.
Yeah,
That's
super
one thing.
that guy
One thing
is,
I love.
like so transparent.
very
Yeah.
vulnerable. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I'm only
Yeah.
fucking 22. So.
Yeah.
But you know, it's people that are vulnerable at that age. There was one person I used to listen to. I still listen to him. A lot of Navy Blue.
Oh yeah.
He helped me like kind of listening to him kind of helped me be able to convey my feelings on the track a lot more.
Okay.
Because that, like, you know, his song is very kind of the same way. It gives all of his
They
heart
kind
and
of
soul
like you
to
can
that.
really feel each and every one of his emotions.
Yeah, you can feel that shit.
Yeah.
Like, he was probably one of the first niggas I actually like really cried to ever.
Yeah.
I ain't never cried to music like ever until I listened to that nigga shit.
Mhm.
But shit that makes you feel, that's pretty much what I go for.
Right.
Even if I'm like, let's just say I'm fucking barring a song down or something, I still want you to feel that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
You know?
So you say like a lot of that comes from like I mean, so when you produce, there's times where you can think of somebody else, right? Like you're producing for somebody else, and there's times where you can make the song right just be like straight from like within, like I want to get this off my chest, right? And with that, and I'm like kind of been thinking too, like I feel like nowadays, especially with like, you know, the whole social media era that we live in, with like, you know, trying to like, you know, get likes and all this like other stuff, right? Like what I feel like some people, at least creatives, sometimes can face a internal struggle to make, you know, what's just like straight off like their chest,
Yeah.
right? Based compared to, okay, like, oh, this is what might be popping right now, people might like, right? And it's like sometimes like a conflict of like, you know, do I just go straight from the heart, right? Or do I try to like, you know, try to keep an audience in mind, right? And also too, when you do keep an audience in mind, right? I feel like, and I want to hear your opinion about it, I feel like there can be one side of that where like, you know, you want to keep your audience in mind, we're like, all right, like I'm making this for like, you know, my fans, and like, you know, I want to connect with y'all, but another side where it's like, you don't want to like completely like, you know, go, like compromise what you're feeling, what you want to say, trying to go please somebody else. So like, have you ever faced that kind of internal struggle of like, you know, do I just make it like just straight from my heart, right, and not think about other people, or you know, or do I think about other people? Like, how do you? Yeah.
Them early days was kind of with the struggle. Like when I was like earlier, just taking it serious, probably like 18 years old.
Yeah.
You know, like when I first started taking it serious, I had that kind of like, should I cater to these people?
Right. Yeah.
It was like it was always a question. It was never like I'm gonna cater to these people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've always been a kind of, I don't give a fuck what y'all or anything, honestly. But at this point now, no, I just whatever the fuck I want to hear,
Yeah.
I'm making that motherfucker.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all like a fan or a person that listens to my music rather have to grow with me or get the fuck on. You know
Right.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Right.
you know, if what I'm making, you ain't gonna fuck with, don't fuck with.
And that's real. And I feel like I've seen it so many times, and I feel like y'all probably have too. You hear so many artists saying, you know, I have fans saying we want the old blank back, right? And it's like, oh man, if we could just get the old blank back, where it's like, you know, a lot of artists feel like, you know, I don't really want to kind of go back to like that because like I'm like evolving,
better
like
than
you know,
Yeah,
like
I'm evolving.
I'm
I'm
evolving.
better than that. You
Some
know.
niggas do need to go back.
There's
There's a lot of niggas that do bullshit, bro. Tell you that.
ain't gonna lie.
There's a lot of niggas that need to go back.
Yeah.
You know, shit.
I don't
I feel them. I feel them why they wouldn't want to, because like you already did that.
Yeah,
Why the fuck
that's
do I want to do it
why would I
again?
go back to it?
Let's
Yeah,
go back to the
it's-
conversation like how I want to do the same shit.
Right, you know.
But you want to like kind of like just switch your sound up and
Yeah.
right? And yeah, I feel like it's a thing where it's like, you know, I feel like both. Like, you know, like my question to you is, how do you evolve as an artist and stay true to yourself?
I think for me, and not to pat myself in the fucking back or nothing, but like
Nah, man, give
bro,
yourself flowers,
like,
bro.
dead ass, bro. Like
We are big fans of giving each other flowers. Yeah.
dead ass, bro. Like evolution, it is my personality. So it's like I don't know, bro. Like
Word.
when you hear the way when I progress very, very fast. It's weird as fuck. Like I'll have a verse that I spit 2 months ago, and then like I'll spit a verse today, and that shit will be stomping all over that shit. Like
Right.
I'm not gonna lie.
100%.
You not only is that not only you the same way when you rapping, but you was the same way you when you was hooping too.
Same
He
shit.
picked up moves like that. Like I mean, he was doing shit in 8th grade that I'm doing shit.
Niggas can't tell me I wasn't the first nigga hitting the head.
Oh,
Bro,
yeah.
I was so mad that move got on because I thought I came up with that shit, bro. I was like, bro, what if I did a fake step back and and put my hand over that bitch like I was gonna shoot it?
Yeah.
Niggas used to bite every time.
And bite, yes. Bite
And then
every
niggas
time.
just started doing it out of nowhere, like on fucking Baller's Life.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
yeah,
damn,
yeah.
that's a move.
Yeah.
I thought I came up with that shit.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
and I remember you had that one move in Wills Park where you went the.
Oh, he put the ball in between his legs while driving the.
Hey.
Oh my god, he was coming up with some shit. I ain't gonna lie.
But exactly, it's like the way I was trying to push the
Push the
kinda like
boundaries,
push the
yeah.
boundary
Yeah.
shit. That's just kind of how I am with this shit. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a like I said, if I go in there and make a beat, bro, like, or I'm gonna always try and do the most obscure, most different thing out of the box thing I'm all could possibly do.
And what's your view on process versus price? Like, is it like a thing where it's like, you release the song and it's like, all right, that's the feeling I was looking for? Or is it not like the feeling of making it? That's like,
feeling of making it.
that's what I want. That's what I'm seeking, and then just releasing it is just kind of like the icing on the cake, or just like
Releasing is releasing is the hard part. Releasing it, like, cause it's like this shit is 80% marketing, 20% music. You know what I'm saying?
He's right.
So you do the music, that's 20%. I gotta
Shoot,
drive
that's
that
what-
shit.
Yeah, that's what anything.
Promote it, put some money into it, shoot a video,
Yeah.
get that shit sync licensed and all that extra
All
shit.
that work.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's work. This shit is, the music is just the feeling of being able to make it and way to express just who the fuck I am,
right.
who Tariq is.
Yeah.
That's just kind of what I live for.
Right, and then like talk to me more about that, because I feel like sometimes people might think, especially from the outside looking in, where it's like, oh, like these artists and stuff like that, they get to just go and then just put their track on, put their soul on the track, and that's like all they do. They don't have to worry
That's
about
your
blah
board,
blah
bro.
blah blah, right? But talk to me about the actual the lifestyle, like the day in day out, right? 'Cause it's like, yeah, you're coming in getting reps up, making beats, hopping on songs, right? But there's a whole different side of that where it's like once you especially too if you want to be an artist, and live off that, there's a whole different side of having to promote and having to do all that. So I feel like talking about that, what that side is like beyond just recording and making music.
That's the most draining part right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially trying to get the traction and keep that traction going. Like, I know a lot of times that shit can get very discouraging for people. That'd be the main reason why people quit.
Yeah.
You know, people like maybe drop that first album, they got so much love, but then they get that sophomore album and that shit don't get that much love, and they just they be out of
blues,
it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
And it's all honestly, it's mental, like, cause you're gonna get discouraged in this shit. Most resilient motherfuckers gonna feel like quitting, bro. You're not really doing this shit if you didn't feel like quitting at one point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't know, the business side. Like I said, that shit's draining, bro. Like,
Yeah.
trying to stay active on social media, trying to make sure your shit get to this person, trying to get a visual for any song that you have. That it's you got to put money into the shit, time into the shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just coming off of work don't feel like doing none of that shit.
Oh
You
God.
know what I'm saying? Sometimes some shit happen in your life where you don't feel like doing none of that shit. That shit might slow you down.
Yeah.
And you come back, Twitter, IG, your engagement low. That shit fucks somebody up even more. And then,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Then you see these sour ass niggas getting on. Like, that shit be fucking a lot of folks up.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, That's what I say. Most of it's very mental. You know, it's very mental. Like I consider myself a fairly resilient person. I know, you know, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Mhm.
So it doesn't really get to me as much as it does a lot of other people, but it can get to me at times. You know.
Yeah.
But
How do you and what keeps you going? Like you know you know in those times where you're like damn like you know today was ass, right? Like you're right like you know like what do you like what keeps you going like on those days, like what do you think about, like what do you
the goal, honestly, really just the goal, honestly, bro. Like I know I got a lot of shit in store, so it's like me giving into that feeling or giving into that, you know, being discouraged.
Yeah.
Just I never really gave myself I don't really give myself any room for that.
yeah
Honestly, like there'll be some days I really feel like that, and it's just like, yeah, I feel like that, but guess what the fuck I'm gonna keep doing? You feel me?
yeah
It's not even the sense of ignoring it, but it's more of a sense of just dealing with that shit. Like, okay, I know I'm gonna feel like that, but I know I'm not about to stop this shit. I know I'm not about to slow down with this shit.
right
You know, it's even times where I plateau. Like, I won't record for a good minute. I won't make a beat for a good minute. But like, at the end of the day, I still know this shit is what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing.
right
So I already know once I just get that spark, maybe once I'm watching some cartoon and some little music playing in the back, I'm like, oh, that's kind of hard. I might have to look that up on YouTube. At least that and I'm back on my shit.
right
You know, it's just like, for me, it's like this. And plus, I don't really, them days where I, you know, can't make shit or can't do shit, that shit don't really last too long for me. Like, it might last like weeks.
yeah
You know, it used to like last like months and shit, but usually it'd be like 1 or 2 weeks. So I just be back on. I at least do something, like go make a random ass beat, or even if the beat don't even be that good, like I at least do something. Like
Right.
I make myself do something. Like, and it goes back to being in the gym. You don't want to go to the gym or something. You still got to get something up. I at least be shooting on the mini hoop at least. You know. What I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just kind of apply that same kind of mentality that you would apply to sports, or, you know, same shit here.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Shout out sports, man. That really molds you. You know what I'm
It
saying?
really molds you, bro.
Like it really molds you to understand persistence, determination, and the goal.
Teamwork and everything.
Yeah.
Mentality and consistency and you know,
I think we all owe basketball.
Bro, ball really life, bro.
Yeah, ball really is
Life.
ball really is life for us, for like, and yeah, I'm happy that it brought us together.
Real talk, bro.
But yeah, I guess, I mean, now I guess I want to ask too, okay, I think you've gotten everything through, but for real, for me, you know, what is the goal? What's the goal for this music stuff, man? Like, where do you want to take it, and how far?
I got a good little list. I don't have it all there, because, you know, goals adjust over time. But
Right.
you know, I know for one, you know, I'm just trying to get into a lot of sync licensing, like I said, making beats for Adult Swim,
Right.
or even something as simple as making beats for Nick Jr.
Mhm.
Or, you know, me getting into, you know, film, also, you know, producing for whoever I want to, engineering for whoever the hell, really trying to, you know, be able to use my platform and things to be able to help, you know, the youth. Cause like I said, like, you know, when I went to Memphis and, you know, helped a lot of them young kids out and shit,
Mhm.
you know, that was a really experience that I would kind of want to come back to with, you know, a platform and more money and shit.
Right.
I can actually fucking help.
Yeah.
And also being able to help the fam, bro.
All right.
You know,
Shout out
that's
to
like
family.
number one,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Gotta help the fam, gotta help myself. You know, I don't really want too much out of life. As long as, like, you know, my family fed,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? I got the pound of gas, I got, you know, all my beats and shit, you know, niggas fucking with the music.
Right.
I'm on constant work, doing what the fuck I love.
Mhm.
I'm straight, bro.
Right.
You
That's
know,
what's up.
I don't need too much out of life.
Yeah.
And there you have it. Thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate your support. If you like the podcast, remember to like the video or share it with a bunch of like-minded individuals, and check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever Anchor allows us to put our podcast on. If you want to hear some more music from Wiz, then go ahead and look into the description. We got a bunch of music there for you. Songs mentioned in the podcast should be available there. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching.